Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2006 here in TEW 2020, as we're still a few weeks out from Slamboree 2006 as we continue on the long road. And as a quick little start at the point here, I know TW9 is out in public beta. I was planning to do a stream yesterday, but should be doing today, maybe tomorrow. Just depends on how my time works out. I want to do a little test. I played it a little bit. Thoughts are varied. A little more come up soon, but just in case people are wondering as I post this up. Anyway, though, let's get out to the show as we start out with, right from basically the opening theme, we start out with Anderson music hits. Out comes Ken Anderson along with Brother Ray, as youngsters put over what happened last week with the attack on the Truth backstage, and then the attack on Ken Anderson after his match with the Red Rum, including, and then Brother Ray coming out for the save. And Anderson basically comes right down to the ring, says the mic and says, "Greensboro, North Carolina, I have a message to send right now, and that's to the Ness in the back. You see, I admit happily I'm an a-hole, but I say what I mean, and I do what I say, and I come down here, and I'm always ready to do my talking in the ring when it's time for that. What I saw last week was BS. You want to take me on? Fine. If you want to send your buddies out for me? That's BS. You want to attack the Truth just for being our ally? That's BS. I'm glad Brother Ray came down here to help me out. But here's the thing. Both of us want you to send your little flunkies, that former guy who used to think he was Roman Gladiator, and now he's some painted up freak, and your weirdo prophet down here so they can get their ass kicked by two of the biggest a-holes in WCW. Big pop for that. And, Brother Ray takes Mike and says, this isn't just about revenge. It's about sending a message you mess with us in the back. Because I'm a street fighter. I'm a survivor of the streets. I've done my battling all over the world. And we've been too soft. We let those punks like Raven and his buddies think they can walk over us. They think they can get tackled from behind, and there won't be any damn consequences. So you got your little flock, your little nest, whatever you're calling your group of weirdos this time around. You want to fight clarity? You want to fight? Well, you know my history, and I know I'm happy to make it dirty. I'm ready to go to the extreme. But you want to come after my friends, sneak after me, you be ready for the fight of your life. Because we're not going to beat you. We're going to, and then a long stream expletives, basically bleep out it, as the announcers, say, obviously, Brother Ray is very upset. And then out comes the Nest music, and out comes Red Rum and the Prophet for a match. As this gets the 91, because Anderson and Brother Ray are both good, basically, builds things up from last week as, this is sort of I guess they're number 2 angle on the show. Number 1's obviously the whole world title stuff, but this is our number 2 angle and our longer term stuff. And then we'll have the actual match, which, as you imagine, gets a 72. Unfortunately, basically, this is a lot of BS, lots of brawling, lots of fighting. Prophet's gimmick is getting stale, which I'll note to myself here. But yeah, just a complete and total bit of a, mayhem match. So, we got your spots, and eventually Raven gets involved as Brother Ray is on the outside, comes in, hits him with an even flow DDT on the chair, with no backup. Red Rum and Prophet go for the attack, and eventually, with some help from a, let's say a Singapore Arcade and some additional, additional backup help, they get the pin over Ken Anderson here on Nitro as the match gets a 72. Brother Ray gets an 85. Ken Anderson gets an 82. Prophet gets a 60. Red Rum gets a 65. Prophet's gimmick is getting stale. It's funny, Brother Ray was held back by the content nature of the match. How many garbage matches did he have in ECW just like this? I guess you could argue he's actually wasn't that great at those, and he was better in regular tag team matches, but still interesting. Anyway, good stuff. Yeah, we're moving on. And then it's a complete 3 on destruction. Brother Ray gets tossed in the ring, and just the beatdown continues as Raven takes the mic and says, Anderson, Brother Ray, I warned you. I warned you that stepping into our world would be nothing but pain and suffering. But you didn't listen, didn't you? Anderson slowly tries to get up, but Raven sort of circles around him. You thought you could fight us. You thought you could stand up like a good hero to get the cheers of these morons, these invalids. But here you are, broken, beaten, and humiliated. This is your reality now. You want to be a savior, but all you've done is brought more suffering upon yourself and your so-called allies. And the beatdown continues. This is nothing compared to what I'm willing to do. You see, this isn't about winning matches or titles. It's about sending a message. A message to anyone who dares oppose to us. A message to our old enemies and old allies alike. To anyone out there thinking of helping these men think in, because this is just the beginning. You two are just the example. Anybody who thinks they can stand up against the nest, they will suffer the same fate. Quoth the Raven. Nevermore. And then, take out 76, good stuff. Profit was underwhelmed. Yeah, I mean, I actually rated them, which makes sense. But fun stuff as this gets a 76, and the feud continues. And then we have another Tomco Production Agency commercial. This gets a 72. Tomco is currently off TV for reasons, but we'll continue to build them up here. And we go backstage, where America's Most Wanted is backstage with Jeremy Borash, as, basically, Borash asking about his match versus Ninkyo in the main event tonight, which is part of the aerial assault qualifiers. And, Storm says, look, Ninkyo is a tough team. We've had our battles with them all over this country in WCW for the tag titles. But when the stakes are high and the pressure's on, that's where we shine our brightest. We have been multiple-time tag team champions for a reason, and Ninkyo or Stacy Keibler, whatever plan she has, is not going to get our way. Then Chris Hero steps and says, because we're the best tag team in the world, and tonight we're going to prove that. And at Slamboree, when we climb that ladder once again and become tag team champions once again, we'll prove it and show how great we are. And then Storm says, if you don't like that, sorry about your damn luck. Pretty straightforward babyface promo setting up the match later tonight, which gets a 77. And then we have a fun little match here as ODB takes on Emi Sakura up from our dev fed. I'm here to do job duty, and it's a complete, this is like a complete squash. Emi maybe gets a little bit of offense in, but just like putting over ODB. She usually hits her finisher, gets a 35, ODB gets a 53, Emi gets a 51, cooled the crowd a little. Was it anything more than just okay, just both baby faces, which is not the end of the world. But yeah, just a complete squash here as she's, putting over ODB strong here. And then she takes the mic and, she says, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Another one bites the dust. Now let's get down to business. Penny Grable, you've been running your mouth over and over, and I ate one to let that slide. And yeah, you all know who I'm talking about. Miss Perfectly Proper herself. Penny, you want to come down here, run your mouth about how you're better than everybody else? How you're bringing about so old school nonsense? We'll hate the 90s. This ain't the 50s, this ain't the 60s, it's 2006, and it's time for a reality check. You think you got some fancy words and prim proper attitude that you're something better than me? Let me tell you something. In this ring, it ain't about how you talk, about you fight. Next week, I'm going to show you what you mean to step in the ring, so I'm ain't afraid to get dirty. Next week, it's you and me. Come down to this ring, there'll be no more talking, no more prancing around, no more talking about who's proper or who's more of a proper woman. Just a good old-fashioned fight. And trust me, when the bell rings, you're going to wish you never opened your damn mouth in the first place. So decent little promo, setting up a match for next week, which gets a 63. And I probably shouldn't have rated Tenay here, but sometimes you gotta do stuff. Or maybe he's not good at this. I forget, because I thought I did this before where Eddy got a good promo. Anyway, we then Tenay from the announcer's desk throws to a sit-down interview with Eddy Guerrero, as we got Eddy, who's, still a heel, but he got attacked by another heel last week, along with world champion AJ Styles. And, and Eddy says, Mike Tenay asks him about the attack from RVD and says, I say, when you've been in this business as long as I have, you learn to expect the unexpected. But that doesn't mean I'm okay with it. Look, I can understand RVD having problems with AJ Styles. I have my own problems with AJ Styles. But that was my match. Last week, I was on the verge of proving to everybody, once again, especially AJ Styles, why the Grow name is synonymous with greatness. But then Rob Van Dam had to get involved in my business and cost me a chance to prove to everyone I deserve that title shot on my own at Slamboree. Tenay asked him about the three-way dance at Slamboree that's been announced, and Eddy is like, look, it's no secret, I want it back. I want that WCW World Championship back in my hands. It's my legacy, my birthright, what I came back here to WC for, and what I held for not long enough. And look, AJ Styles, I'm not going to be here and say he's not a great competitor and that he hasn't proven he's one of the best in the world. But that's one of the best in the world. I'm that much better. And Rob Van Dam, you're world champion once before, and I understand wanting that back so badly. But you had your chance. And let's be honest, Rob, you blew it. You could have stepped aside and let me get my chance and take back my title. And I maybe would have been happy, Helms, to give you back another title shot. Give you a title shot once I had this gold around my waist. As far as I'm concerned, my main goal is taking you out so you don't get in my way again. And, Tenay asked him if, is he worried that, at the pay-per-view, both AJ and RVD are going to want him to get rid of him first, basically, so it's 1-1 to finally set them straight. And, Eddie's like, we all want the same thing. We want the one thing that everybody in this business should strive for. Let's be at the top of the ladder. I've tasted it once, Helms, and I'm going to taste it again. It doesn't matter what I have to do in that ring. If AJ gets in my way, I'll take him out. If RVD gets in my way, I'll take him out. The only thing that's real is at the end of the day, I will be holding that world title again and proving to everyone that Guerrero Family Values means being the best in the world and taking that belt gold, no matter how you have to do it. And, Tenay asking about the Guerrero name, and says, is it truly the family's legacy if he, gets through it with, via lie, cheating, and stealing? And, says, have you seen what we've done in the past? Our families were never choir boys, or I guess altar boys. Look at our background. We've lied, we cheated, we've stolen, we've attacked, we've used chairs, because we know this business is not a clean business. It's not a straightforward business. It's a business about one thing, fighting for yourself and for your name. And that's what I'll do at Slamboree. I'll get that title. For my family name, for my name, and to remind everybody that Eddy Guerrero is the best wrestler in the world. So AJ Styles, you think you're the new hotness and I'm Rob Van Dam? You think you're the whole effing show? Well, I'm Eddy Damn Guerrero. 82, unfortunately, I rated Tenay, but still good stuff from Eddy. Then we have a Japan hype package, basically putting over that last night, which I'll go over the results here in a minute. There was the big Japan show. Wasn't on pay-per-view this time just because I didn't have the spot for it. And basically put over the big moments of the show, at least for audiences that matter, would include Booker and Booker T and Shelton defending their tag titles against the Southern Syndicate, Blaster Lashley fighting Terry Funk, in a one-off, Bill Goldberg fighting a big Japanese star in Takayama, and AJ Styles defending the WCW World Championship against an unnamed opponent because it was against Kanan, but he's been written off. So 72, just, hey, these guys will not be on the show, which will explain things later. And then we have just Jimmy Grave. Okay. So a fun little cruiserweight tag match. I mean, this is just basically a fun little match to put over Cassidy and Roberts as they beat Jimmy Grave and Tajiri. Back and forth high spots match. Early gets the big win over Tajiri again. This gets a 64. Tajiri gets a 73. Jimmy Grave gets a 73. Reckless Roberts gets a 63. And Cassidy gets a 59. Grave and Tajiri have excellent chemistry, which is interesting. That's a thought for the future of both those guys in the long term. But yeah, good stuff. O'Reilly gets the win, and post match they celebrate as O'Reilly's getting better gimmick, gets a 37. As just put over that it's been officially announced that he'll get his rematch at Super Raw, or no, at Slamboree. Sorry, wrong pay-per-view. Then we have a fun little match as Rita Suzuki is here, ironically not on the Japanese show, as he takes on Lance Storm. It's a 6-minute match. Nothing fancy here. Suzuki gets his spots in, but eventually Storm hits the big super kick, locks on the Canadian Maple Leaf, and Suzuki has to tap out. Straightforward match. Suzuki gets a 67 because he's great. Lance Storm gets a 71, and a strong win for Lance Storm. And then he takes the mic, oh boy, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, every week I get in this ring to prove I'm the best tech wrestler in WCW, and to prove that I deserve my chance, my place in this business." And I've seen Ray LePen talking about how he's so great because he won the U.S. title. Well, I'm a former U.S. champion myself. So, Ray LePen, you want to prove yourself that you're nothing more than a fluke champ? Get in the ring with Canada's greatest athlete and actually prove you deserve that title. 63, pretty straightforward challenge. It is what it is. Nothing fancy here. Then we go backstage where Eric Bischoff is with Celine Cartier, who is basically, unhappy about what's going on the past couple weeks, especially what happened last week where, basically the two members of Captivation that are around with the former Lita currently out on injury, and she wants a match against one of them at next week on Nitro. Bischoff agrees and says, which be Celine Cartier versus Lexi James on Nitro. A few days out from Slamboree. Fun stuff. 58, straightforward. Bischoff being Bischoff, Cartier being her her fiery baby face French Canadian self. Nothing fancy here, but a short little segment. Then we have a very interesting semi-final match as Alex Wright takes on Claudio Cesaro. And here's the thing. Cesaro is not quite Cesaro here yet, but he looks good, and he gets his spots. He gets a big European uppercut. He, technically wrestles, Wright well, but Wright, is a, much bigger star at this point. And he eventually takes control. Claudio goes for his UFO. Wright gets out of it, rolls through into a big suplex, hits a few big moves, eventually hits a short arm DDT. But then he locks on an STF right in the middle of the ring, and Cesaro has to tap out after under 8 minutes. The youngsters put over him as having a strong match, but Wright's one of the top stars on Nitro right now. But a good strong fight for him. As this gets an 80, Wright gets an 86, Cesaro gets a 79. But then, as Cesaro's slowly getting up after the match, Cesaro, Wright goes after the knee again, kicking and punching at it, as the announcers, put over, this is what Goldberg, happened to Goldberg and Rey Mysterio Jr., and now he's setting his sights on Cesaro. The announcers put over that neither Goldberg or his tag team partner, Blaster Lashley, is around, with them both over in Japan. And, Cesaro tries to get up, but Wright pulls him up into another short arm DDT, and he goes outside, and he gets the chair, and he locks, he puts him in the Pillmanized position, and eventually, we see various referees, Dusty Rhodes, Johnny Ace, all running down the ramp to intervene. Dusty, we just saying, "Come on, baby, back off! Don't do that. You don't want to do this." And basically, we see Wright taking the mic and saying, "This is just a taste of what's to come. I'm Death Wonderbar. No one's safe for me, especially not you, Goldberg. This ring is mine, and I will dominate anybody who steps in it." And then, before anybody can stop him, he does a quick stomp on Cesaro's knee. Not to permanently injure him or anything, but enough that it looks like he's been hurt a little bit. So this whole thing gets a 91, as heat, lots of heat. And let's see here. Yeah, we have our Revolution recap focusing on the return of Kurt Angle, making the save for Evans and London last week on Revolution. Then we have our big main event, and it is it is a very good back and forth tag match. Wright and Harrison Storm doing their tag team match, Kaz doing his kicks, Yang flying around, some double team leaders from both teams. We have Kaz hitting some Frankensteiners, Storm and Harris, Storm hitting the Big Spear for a near fall, Harris hitting the Catatonic for a near fall. A back and forth match. Eventually we get a ref bump, and that's when Stacy Keibler makes a sign, and out of the backstage, out of the crowd comes a big Japanese man, and he comes in and he just drills. He just comes over and he drills Chris Harris with a massive boot to the face. He picks him up, hits him with a power bomb, and Yang comes over, hits a big, sort of double jump moonsault. The ref recovers. 1, 2, 3. Your winner. And moving on to earlier assault are Ninkyo, as this gets a 81. Let's see here. Kaz gets a 96, Yang gets a 78, Storm gets an 89, Harris gets a 79. Oh shit, I forgot to change it off. Okay. So this was on me. I basically forgot to change it off all out once it went longer than 20 minutes. I officially had this for 18. Not the end of the world. Still a really good match. Let me see here. Let's see here. This should have been maybe an 84. So it should have been an 80. So we lost a couple, points. But after the match, as just put over what has happened, which I'll actually add here, as we now have our full card for the aerial assault, that is going to be Kaz, Yang, Ray Jr., Matt Sydal, Billy Kidman, Shane Helms, Booker T, Shelton Benjamin, for the World Tag Team titles at Slamboree. There we go. Fun stuff. Post-match, oof. We get the, big finish as Keebler, Yang, and Kaz stand with this new competitor who we don't know whose name it is. Ignore what it says there. That might be his name. That might not be his name. And, basically we have, Tenay going, Ninkyo has been a former team on there, but now with this new man in the ranks, they're going to be even more dangerous, with this new powerhouse, as, Keebler is holding his hands up as Kaz and Yang celebrate at the top of the ramp. And, they put over Yang and Kaz have secured their spot in the aerial assault match. And, big moment here on Nitro, which gets us an 83. Okay. Not our best show, but honestly, I should have dropped that. I should have taken the all-out note off. And yeah, that's about it. Again, we had some big stars over. We didn't have AJ around to do a promo. We didn't have sort of our top guys, and Nitro sort of a show without not that many tippy top. There's Goldberg, but yeah, he wasn't around. Yeah, I'll go over the results of the other our Japanese show, and of course Nitro here in a second. Survey says, okay, let's see here. Come on, you can do it. All right. Oh yeah, also we've had lots and lots of sightings and stuff, so I might go over that in a moment. All right. So first, a look at Raw. We had, let's see here, we had Crowbar and Matt Classic defeating Capadelli and Shark Boy on the undercard. We had Juvie Juice defeating Grandmaster Sexy, Skyfall, Caleb Lyon, and TNA defeating Sam and the Sex Machines. DDP defeating Charlie Haas. Molly Holly and Michelle Morgan defeated Beth Phoenix in a ladder match in 73. Steven Richards defeating Adam Jacobs. Batista defeating JBL and Vampiro at a three-way at a 99. Big Show and CM Punk defeating Edge and the recently turned Shawn Michaels at a 99. And they're still over in Australia for some reason. So yeah. So, as a quick look over, this is a better way to do it. So we did have our Rising Sun Revolution show, which got us an 82, 34,000 people at the Seibu Dome in beautiful Seibu, Japan, and we had basically Funk and Flair having a little wacky opening promo to set up their match. Blaster actually going over Terry Funk in 6 minutes, and a 44 because Terry Funk is old. Who had the Hardy Boys defeat Jack London and Paul London and Jack Evans in a face versus face match, which got us an 89. I think was our actual best match on the show. Gail Kim defeating Joey Lawler in a 64. We had Maverick Chance defeating Taka Michinoku in a match for the Cruiserweight title, which got us 73. We had Alyssa Alexander defeating Angel Fox in a match for the women's title, which got us a 67. We had Booker T and Shelton defeating Southern Syndicate in a 76 to retain the tag titles. We had Kurt Angle defeat Jeff Jarrett in an 82. We had Ray Jr. defeat Rob Van Dam in an 80. And when Goldberg defeat Takayama in a 77. And our main event, we had AJ defeat Kenny in an 84. So basically a lot of matches with no storyline behind them, but a lot of stuff to put over. So also I want to do some pre-booking here. Let's see here. Slamboree, what else is also set? Let me actually just set that up. Oh, right, okay. Aerial Assault. There, I'll just remember that. So that's set. We got the world title match. I guess nothing else is actually... Hold on, let me do a quick little double check. So I guess I can sort of put some matches that I should have actually already added, which include a rematch for the Cruiserweight Championship of Maverick Chance and Cassidy O'Reilly. So there we go. And of course, Bill Goldberg versus Alex Wright. There we go. Good stuff. And just because I wanted to do it while I'm here is, okay, first the Prophet. His gimmick is terrible. So actually, let me just try this. Prophet of Destruction. We'll try that. And Yang. Let's see here. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Like, there we go. All right, and I'll be back in just a second with Revolution. And everybody, welcome to Revolution, live from Blacksburg, Virginia, in front of a crowd of over 13,000 people. And we start out with our announcing team going basically saying, we're right to the ring for a big singles match that's previewing the aerial assault as Shane Helms takes on Shelton Benjamin. And okay, yeah. So I had this to be a banger, and we had the bad psychology note, which I sort of expected, because Shane Helms not exactly the most psychology, guy in the world. Shelton Benjamin in 2006 was still a bit of a, you could say a spot monkey, or just like a guy who hasn't like totally put it together yet. But yeah, this is just like 15 minutes of them just like throwing everything at each other as the Hunters put over the big aerial assault match. We got suplexes from Benjamin, Helms, hitting his own big moves, hitting the super kick for a near fall, but Benjamin hitting some big T-bone suplexes, doing some dives of his own, hitting some big suplexes on the outside, but Helms eventually getting going back and forth. Eventually we get some Booker T, getting involved with Billy Kim on the outside, and that actually leads to the finish as Kidman throws Booker T into the steps, and that distracts Benjamin just long enough for Helms to drill with a super kick. Then the Nightmare on Helm Streets running knee to the back of the head to pick up the pinfall win here to open up Revolution. This gets an 83. Benjamin gets a 90. Helms gets a 91. Lack of psychology, better announcing. Match got the crowd buzzing, and then post match we have a fun little segment as we have Kidman coming in for the beatdown, but Booker T comes in for the save. We have a two-way brawl, and then we also have a bit of a cat fight between April Hunter, who's, Kidman's longtime valet, and of course Sharmell, who's Booker T's, wife and valet. And this gets a 71. Fun stuff building up the big, pay-per-view aerial assault match. And then we go backstage where we have, Blonde Ambition. We have, European Disunion backstage, and we have Blonde Ambition of Angel Fox and Nanny Hart basically walk up to them and, saying, you keep on saying that you want a match for the tag team titles, but just a reminder, the last two times we've been in the ring with you, we've defeated you. So if you truly want to earn that title shot, get in the ring with us tonight and prove that you're something more than just Nikita Colt's goons. Busic is, Maulie Mayhem, of course, freaks out and goes for a fight. Busic backs her up, and Busic, says in her sort of like less charismatic than Colt, but still Colt way. Fine, we will take both of you on later tonight and prove that we deserve the next shot at those tag team titles. 58, decent little promo, so then come a match later tonight. And then, so we have our little thing, which I like to do, as we have backstage, as basically Trevor Slater, comes up to the Thrillers who are backstage in their little backstage area, Judgment Day is their backstage area in real life, and he basically says, USOBs, you tried to get involved last week, and I'm happy Kurt Angle came out there and whooped all your butts. But I was ready to get involved. I was ready to back up Evans Lynn myself, but I saw they didn't need the backup. I'm just going to say, next week, either this week or at Slamboree, all of you, especially you, Sean, as he points at him, are going to get what we deserve for turning our backs. And they just sort of like blow him off. Like, Palumbo's like, what are you even saying? Like, why do you think you even matter? Do you even still work here? And Jindrak says, and says, oh, that's adorable, real gutsy Trevor, but guts don't make fights. And then, Raven Reigns sort of walks up to him as he looks a little nervous. He says, Trevor, you got a little nerve coming here, but tell me, I think you don't have any brains to match those guts, doesn't he? And, O'Hara sort of is chuckling and says, I respect a man for staying at what he believes in. That's why I stood up for what I actually believed in and rejoined the Thrillers. But, see, you made a mistake. You stepped into our world, our domain. In our domain, we rule. And then we have Dice and Havoc, the two former Secret Sin coming in, and they just beat the crap out of Trevor Slater, leaving him laying as, Trevor Slater just chuckles, as Trevor Slater, gets beat up, and eventually, Palumbo and Jindrak watch with satisfaction as, Palumbo finally says, Trevor, you should know better. This happens when you play hero against the Thrillers. And Hair finally says, consider this a lesson, Murdoch. Stay out of our business, or next time you won't be getting back up. So just this, just a little bit of a fun little, oh, yeah, these are asshole heels thing. Get to 65, because I actually rated, Slater, but it is what it is. Fun stuff. And then we gotta go backstage where, okay, so they didn't click. So Alli Danger kills up from Developmental, Tracer Taylor. This gets a 30, Alli gets a 43, Tracer gets a 24. Unfortunately, that didn't click, which I was warned about, but I said I'd risk it anyway. Not the end of the world. Just a complete squash here, just to put Alli over. And then she takes the mic and says, you see that? That's just what a taste, what I can do. Week after week, I've improved myself here on Revolution, but last week, Gail, you tried to tell a story. You tried to tell a story how you brought me into this company, how you made me. So let's get one thing straight. I didn't learn a damn thing from you. You see, Gail, you think because you showed up here a couple years ago that you're something more than just a former diva who used to run around in bikini contests or putting matches or whatever you're doing over there. You might have fooled some of these people who were thinking you're something more than that, but you never fooled me. I didn't need your guidance or your lessons. I learned everything I needed to know traveling around this country, wrestling on little shows with my brother. You see, I found dingy halls and a handful of fans that thought women's wrestling was what you made it. And I earned my stripes the hard way. I wasn't handed opportunities on a silver platter like you, Gail. I was made the face of the division because WCW was that desperate for somebody who actually had talent. I fought for everything I've got. But I saw an opportunity to use you as a stepping stone to get here, and I took it. I used you to get my foot in the door, but now it's my time. This is my danger zone, and you're just a relic. But Slamboree is going to be false count anywhere. I'm going to show you and everyone else that it's my time to shine in the women's division. You've had your moment, Gail, but now it's your time to step aside and let a new generation take over. You want to talk about being the head bitch in charge? We're going to walk into the danger zone. I'm going to walk out, and you can call me whatever you want, but I'm going to be the new leader of the division. 62, decent little promo, still getting over, so fun stuff as we build things up here on Revolution. And then we go backstage, as we have a fun little segment, as basically we have Kurt Angle backstage with Paul London and Jack Evans and the Hardy Boys, and Angle's intense as he's basically saying, look, listen up, we're here for a reason. We're here to take back what ours and show everybody that the Thrillers don't run this show. Paul, Jack, Matt, Jeff, tonight and Slamboree isn't about matches. It's about sending a message to Palumbo, Jindrak, O'Hare, and their backups, and remind them this is about competition. It's about what you do in the ring, not what you can do as a show of force. Now, Paul, Jack, I know you guys are signed to face Palumbo Jindrak at Slamboree. And tonight, Matt and Jeff, you're taking them on the main event. And Matt's, intense, and Jeff is, Jeff. This isn't just another match. It's about proving to them that no matter what they throw us, no matter how they try to break us, you've got to stand tall, damn it. Because, see, Matt, Jeff, remember, I saw up close what you guys are willing to do in that ring to stay at the top. And tonight, against Palumbo and Jindrak, you need to remind them of why you're one of the best tag teams in the world today. Because it's damn true, you can show them. So fly around and cause them a little damage before Slamboree. And then he turns to Paul and Jack and says, look, you have your work cut out, your Slamboree. But I know you have the talent. London, you win U.S. champion. Jack Evans, you shocked the world and you've risen up and you're one of the hottest stars tonight. I know you have the intensity, the integrity, and the intelligence to rise up and shock the world and beat them at Slamboree. Because we need to stay focused, we need to stay true, we need to stay sharp. Because we're not just fighting for ourselves, or titles or glory. We're fighting for each other, for this locker room, and for those fans out there who want to watch a great show of intense competition, not a bunch of a-holes thinking they own this ring. Because damn true, I'm going to take out Shawn O'Hare and Slamboree and show him he never should turn back on me. And then you guys are going to shock the world. Everybody Lennon and Simmons are hyped, Hardy looks intense, and Jeff is Jeff. 84, fun little promo, just putting things over. And then we have our match, as we have Wesena Busic and Maulie Mayhem taking on Blonde Ambition of Natty Neidhart and Angel Fox. Back and forth match. Eventually, Natty, Mayhem sort of dominates Natty, gets a few big moves, hits a big power move, which I need to look up her actual finisher, and hits a big power move to actually get the mostly clean pinfall win over Natty Neidhart and earn the title shot at Slamboree, as this gets a 68. Maulie gets a 47, Wesena gets a 62, Angel Fox gets a 75, and Natty gets a 51. And this officially makes the match at Slamboree for the women's tag titles. We see Busic taking on Nikki Radcliffe and Annie Vidal for those women tag team titles. 68, not bad. I mean, that's basically what I expected. And post-match, the heels celebrate as the announcers, put over the match for the pay-per-view. Backstage, we have Amy Weber with Monty Brown as he's pacing. And Amy asks him, about the match. The first, she mentions that later tonight he's facing Paul London in a big match. But last week, Judas Messias had some strong words for you, and it seems he's ready to bring the fight in a different way than he has before. And Monty's like, Judas Messias, the so-called monster from Puerto Rico. You think you came back from where you've been hiding and challenge the alpha male? You think you intimidate with your dark brooding video? Let me tell you something, Messias. I don't care where you've been or what you did in the past. When you step in the room with me, you're stepping to Serengeti, and there's only one alpha male in that jungle. You're about redemption, about cleansing the darkness from your soul. Well, that's good and all, but redemption ain't going to save you when you're standing in the room for me, the badass man on the planet. See, you think you're ready to serve darkness. The truth is, you're just another victim waiting to be pounced by Monty Brown. So Wrestle War, we fought and went to double countout. But let's get real. The only reason you're still walking is because we got separated. I drove you that stage so hard, you're probably still feeling it. But do you want more? I'm happy to give it to you, man. Because I'm the king of the jungle. And I rule a Serengeti. So, at Slamboree, let's make sure there's only one winner. Only one man can walk away. But I don't want any excuses. So next week, show up at Revolution and tell me the damn match you want. You want redemption? You want to prove yourself? Step up and face me in a match where there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Let's see if you guys take to survive the alpha male. And then, Amy asks him about, Paul London, and he says, Paul, kid, you're a talented guy, no matter about that. You got speed, agility, and heart. And all that gets the crowd all hyped about you. But tonight, you're stepping in the ring with the baddest man on the planet. And in the jungle, only one rule. Survival of the fittest. I'm going to give everybody away. I'm the alpha male, Paul London. You're another obstacle in math. And tonight, you're getting pounced. Period. 79, decent promo, putting over the big match. And does this mean I haven't figured out the gimmick match for the paper yet? Maybe. And then, what happened here? Huh, interesting. I thought this would have done better. I guess AJ's not great, but, I mean, Paul rolled badly, and I guess we have bad announcer roll. Anyway, so we come back from commercial, and, walk hits to the boos of the crowd as Rob Van Dam comes down with Paul Heyman as the answers, put over, last week's three-way dance match was announced, and Paul Heyman and Rob Van Dam have not continued to be upset about it, and, Rob V takes the mic, instead of letting Heyman introduce him, says, Blacksburg, Virginia, man, you're looking at who should be sitting here as your WCW World Champion. I've said it before, and I've said it again. I had AJ Styles beaten at Wrestle War. I was this close to walking out with that title around my waist. So I made an impact. But it's giving me what I deserve. WCW officials set up a three-way dance for Slamboree because management needs to protect their golden boy, AJ Styles. And then Heyman takes Mike, trying to call him Robin Heyman. And he says, Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. I'm advocate for the best wrestler in the world, Mr. Wednesday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, the one and only whole effing show Rob Van Dam. And what we have here is just another obstacle put in place by World Championship Wrestling and Teddy Long to keep that title around AJ Styles' waist. But you know what? That's fine, because Rob Van Dam thrives on overcoming obstacles. He survived the land of the extreme. He thrives on proving people wrong over and over again. When he came here, people said he wouldn't rise to the top of WCW, dominated by old stars, but he did. And he made it Starrcade. And now he's here to prove everybody else wrong again. At Slamboree, when the odds are stacked against him, that's when RVD is at his best. Now, everybody knows our feelings on AJ Styles. But let's move on to Eddy Guerrero. Eddie, we respect you. It's unfortunate you had to get involved in our business, and you're a legend in this business, and me in it, and RVD and you have a step past before. But Eddie, respect does not mean fear. Respect doesn't mean that our Van Dam will go easy on you. Eddie, at Slamboree, Eddie, it's nothing personal, but you're just another competitor standing in the way of the destiny of the number one person in this business. And Eddie, Robin Mike says, look, man, Eddie, we've been this from before, across from each other, and I'm sure we will be again. And there is no doubt you're one of the best. But come Slamboree, I remind you, and everybody else, that this is my time. This is my moment, man. And nobody, not you, not AJ Styles, not Teddy Long, nobody is going to stop me from becoming the WCW World Champion. And, phenomenal, or whatever AJ's music hits, and he comes down to the, comes down to the top of the ramp, and he says, wait, hold on just a minute here, Rob. Let me get this one thing straight. You want to talk about obstacles? You want to talk about respect? I beat you at Wrestle War because of your own mistake. You took a risk, and it didn't work out. It happens to the best of us. But obstacles, I've climbed every single obstacle. I shouldn't even be here. I was lucky that I was on the roster when WCW got bought out, and they did not get rid of me. And I proved myself every damn week to rise up. But Wrestle War, you failed to get the damn job done. Everybody knows that. And look, Slamboree, you get another shot at the title. That's fine with me. And there's Eddy Guerrero in there, and guess what? I'm not scared. I welcome the challenge. Because every time I've stepped in this ring, I've had to prove myself. I've had to fight for everything I've got. And at Slamboree, damn it, I'll do it again. Because I am the face that runs this place. I am phenomenal. And every single damn time I get in the ring, I have to remind everybody why I'm the WCW World Champion and the best in the world. And at Slamboree, I'll just have to do it again against two legends and walk out still your world champion. And Heyman takes the mic and says, AJ, you're undoubtedly talented. In the world, perhaps I'm even your advocate. But that's not that world. But understand this. You're stepping in the ring with Rob Van Dam, the man who was built for this moment. The man who thrives under pressure. At Slamboree, you're not just defending your title. You're trying to stop Destiny. And when it's all said and done, names out on everybody's list will be Rob Van Dam, as RVD points him to himself, and AJ fires back. Look, Paul, you can talk all you want. You're good at it. Everybody knows you're good at telling stories. Words don't win championships. Actions do. And at Slamboree, my actions will speak louder than anything you or Rob have to say. The challenge is great, but I'll overcome it just like I've overcome every single challenge. Because I walk out of that ring at Slamboree, the WCW World Champion. Believe that. Stare down, and there we go. 84, unfortunately, some bad rolls, but still some fun stuff. Then we go backstage as, we have backstage as Nikita Colt is backstage with Maulie Mayhem and Wesena Busic. And basically, Mayhem's happy, and, Colt stops and says, basically says, seems I've underestimated you, and now, because you've earned your stripes, I'm glad to allow you to enter European Disunion. So basically now she's a member of the stable. 62, nothing, fancy here, just started putting that over. And then we have Monty Brown versus Paul London. Oof, let's see here, what happened here? It should have been like an 86. Okay, some inconsistency, and oof, we got the poor announcing ding. Okay, not the end of the world. Back and forth, Paul London gets his shots in, but Monty Brown's been on a whole nother level recently, and he just like eventually like Lyndon gets a little bit of offense in, but eventually goes for 1-2 any high risk moves. Lyndon, Monty catches them. Like I actually see him like Lyndon actually hitting a few big moves, going to the top rope, and Brown just drilling him with a pounce as he's in the air and getting the pinfall victory here, right here on Revolution. 74, worse than I hope, but not the end of the world or anything. As post-match, Monty is going to set up for another pounce, but out comes Judas Messias, and, the lights go dim, he comes out, and there's a big old brawl as, refs and officials try to stop them, but the war is on here on Revolution before eventually, there's enough officials, various backstage personnel, some jobbers to break them apart, as just put over, these two men are monsters in their own way, and at Wrestle War, at Slamboree, they're going to have one final battle. 90, good stuff. And then we cut backstage, as, all that Alyssa Alexander has the women's title, on her shoulders, and she says, I've heard it all already. People say it's a fluke. People say it's all good and glad that you've won the title, but you still haven't proved yourself against the Nikita cult. And here's the thing, Nikita, I know, despite your being that icy visage, you're one of the best wrestlers in the world, men or women. So you have to prove yourself. I've done it before, and I'll do it again at Slamboree. Because I've proven myself to be the leader of the new generation of women here in WCW. And at Slamboree, when I hit you and pin you again, no better than I. This is my division now. 61, good stuff, building things up for the pay-per-view. We get a Nitro recap, focusing, of course, on Kaz and Yang qualifying for aerial assault with the help of their new backup, who's still unnamed, and, of course, Stacey Keebler. 71, good stuff. And then we go backstage where Sonny Siaki is actually entering Teddy Long's office, and, he says, Sonny Siaki heard Chavo Guerrero is talking trash about the TV champion, and Sonny Siaki is very upset about that. So Sonny Siaki wants one thing, and that's for Sonny Siaki to get in the ring with that damn fool Chavo Guerrero and show him why Sonny Siaki is television champion, and he's nothing but Eddy Guerrero's trash nephew. Teddy's like, player, when I match Chavo Guerrero next week on Revolution, that's fine with me, but you'll get to walk away from any challenges, so it's going to be for the TV championship. Sonny Siaki responds, that's fine with Siaki, because Sonny Siaki every week is going to prove why Sonny Siaki is television champion, and Chavo Guerrero is just another obstacle on my path. 67, decent little promo, and let's move forward to our main event. Oof, alright, so let's see here, 91, 80, okay, so a little ding from the announcing color commentator, but, fun stuff here as we got Palumbo and Jindrak taking on the Hardy Boys. Back and forth match, eventually Palumbo, cheats to win, we get some, distractions from Raven Rain, Jeff Hardy going for a big Santon bomb, but missing it, eventually ending up on the outside, Palumbo setting him into the, ringside barrier, taking him out, nowhere to go for Matt Hardy, as Palumbo eventually hits the full throttle for the pinfall on Matt Hardy to get the win here. This gets an 82, Jindrak gets 75, Palumbo gets an 84, Matt Hardy gets an 87, Jeff Hardy gets a 96, I wish I could trust you, Jeff. And then post-match, the beatdown is on, as we see actually Dyson Havoc sort of at the top of the ramp, stopping any saves, but to a big pop, out come, Kurt Angle and Jack Evans, and, Evans actually, runs, sort of does, a roll-through to avoid them hit down the ring, and then Angle just, beats the crap out of both of them, because he's Kurt Angle, and then they run down, and, we get O'Hare and Angle actually fighting, as Evans hits a big dive, hits a big dive into the ring on Palumbo and Jindrak to make the save, and then eventually the Hardys, recover, and, help chase off the Thrillers, and the show ends with the babyfaces standing tall, as this gets an 87. Fun stuff. And the show overall gets us an 84. Okay. Could have been a little better, honestly, but no, we don't have anybody who's, automatic hundreds on promos at the moment, really. So it is what it is. But could have been a lot worse. We could have had that guy on the show. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Some signings. So, yeah, okay. Nick Patrick is staying on the roster. Okay, this is... Oof. Alright. Yeah, okay. Third time, you get a fine. Jindrak thinks Wesena Busic is a star in the making. Kid Cash got an offer. So yeah, people want Kid Cash for some reason. I mean, he is good, and he's over, so there's that. But so far, like, you know, I'm paying some more, and nobody's offering anything he's actually interesting, mainly because I'm giving him 3 years, which probably is a bad idea, because he's 36, and will probably only get worse. But this is a better version of Kid Cash in real life, so it is what it is. Anyway, fun stuff. So, pre-booking wise. So, I think after that, well, okay, so what other matches actually got added? Aerial Assault, Danger Kim, Goldberg Wright. Yeah, I guess we can officially throw in Macias and Monty Brown in a match I'll figure out for the pay-per-view. Oops, let's actually make this Slamboree. There we go. But yeah, we got Colt versus Alexander for the women's title, Chance versus O'Reilly for the cruiserweight title, the women's tag title match, Angle versus O'Hare, Macias versus Monty Brown, Eddie versus AJ versus RVD in a three-way dance, Palumbo Jindrak versus London and Evans, Goldberg versus Wright, Alli Danger versus Gail Kim in Falls Count Anywhere, and of course Aerial Assault. So there you go. Storyline wise, where are you? Yeah, there we go. So we got Who Do You Trust at an 89, which, you know, well, okay, I forgot to throw Angle in here, which is, that's my fault. That's really my fault. So yeah, well, not the end of the world. We got Walking in the War, which is at an 86. Thrilling Angle. Okay, so I just need to change that. Is at an 86. No Mentor Needers at a 69. Legendary, which is part of the hype for Aerial Assaults, at a 78. Expanding Horizons, which is our women's tag feud, is at a 67. Challenges Everywhere is at a 67 as well. Best in the World at an 86. Revenge of the Man's at a 94. Respecting the Burns at a 74. Never Nobles, which is our other Aerial Assault buildup, is at a 768. Misty and Maverick is at a 654. Commonwealth Collide is at a 70. Captivating Nitros at a 68. And Against the Darkness is at a 73. So, Kidding King, interesting. He's like new. Okay, interesting. So, if we look at what WWE has been doing for SmackDown, we have Simone Gangster Party defeating Blue Boy and Marty Jannetty on the undercard. Cody Hawk, Devin DeVoy, and Justice defeating Val Venus and the Outcast. Tommy Mamaluke defeating Kane. Oh, right. So, they seem to be not re-signing Kane, which is interesting. Scott Steiner defeated Spike Dudley by DQ. Okay. Billy Gunn defeated Rikishi by DQ. Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena, because, yeah, okay. William Regal defeated Farouk, and the main event, The Undertaker and Benoit defeated Streets of Suburbs, which is, of course, promoter Homicide and Brian Kendrick under different names, in an 88. So, fun stuff. I'm actually forgetting about this. Not news, contracts. Yeah. So Kane's contract is running down, and they don't seem to be re-signing him, which is interesting. I mean, here's the thing: is he's not super over, and he's not super great. So understand. So I'll just have to see what happens to him, because here's the thing: is I'm tempted only because I don't have a ton of big guys, but this might be a maybe 2007 signing. Also, yeah, this is, I hope, something TW9 fixes. Anyway, if we look at our Dev Fed, so NWA Wildside had a TV show, 20 defeated TJ Perkins, Stallings defeated Sexton, defeated Michaels, Morgan and Durante, Hot Stuff Hernandez defeated Kenzo Suzuki, Lazarus and Cross defeated Austin Creed and Onyx. People are getting to various places where they might be relatively useful. Final Verdict was a big show. Brett Major, Kurt Stallings, and Brian Anderson. So one of the Major brothers, a regen, and Daniel Bryan defeated another regen, Lance Hoyt and Todd Bullitt. Sure. Elijah Burke defeated Kenzo Suzuki. Matt Morgan and Rick Michaels defeated Tony Jones and Austin Creed to retain the tag team titles. People are variously getting close, being ready. Lazarus defeated John Phoenix, Jason Cross defeated Todd Sexton, so not much on the top there. Then for our weekly house show, Tony Jones and Hot Stuff Rain defeated TJ Perkins and Lance White. Again, people are slowly being built up, and Brett Major defeated Kenzo Suzuki as he's being dropped out before he comes up. And yeah, that's about it as far as like that stuff. If we go to our women's fed, of course they had Ladies Night, which is Tanisha Bakers, Amy Sakura, and Ashley Lane. Defeated Madison Eagles, Josie, and Annette Blanchard, who's a regen, not that Blanchard. So yeah, fun stuff. Amazing Kong, Michelle McCool defeated Tracy Taylor and Carla Chambers. So there we go. Lee Osaka defeated Portia Perez and Madison Sinclair to retain the AWQ title. So there we go. And then for the weekly show, we had Annette Blanchard defeating Carla Chambers. Josie, Kong, and Hosaka defeated Tracy Taylor, Lynn Tanisha. Again, Hosaka's great, but I just have nothing to do with her. And Portia Perez and Emi Sakura are your new tag team champions, defeating Michelle, Madison, Claire. I think this was was this a title change or a sort of like a vacant title? Okay, no, they actually won the titles, defended them a couple times, and now we have new champs. Okay, fun stuff. HWA, let's see here. Was there anything really of note for HWA? They had a big show. Daivari versus Excalibur is a part of WWE Developmental. So is Danny Basham versus like 17-year-old Mustafa Ali. Matt Striker versus Ray Steele. Nick Mitchell's here on the very undercard. And yeah, their Indian Regens also getting there. So yeah, Corey Castle and Jimmy Jacobs are your tag champs. Fun stuff for OVW. For their big show, let's see here. We have on the undercard, so we have Velez defeating a regen. We have Disciples of Sin defeating Daniel Rodder and Sky Slaper, or whatever his name is. Drew Onyx defeating John Morrison. Riptide defeating a regen. Sean Casey and Rory Fox defeating Billy Real and Bentley. Sure. Again, that's sure interesting. And then we had Lizzie Borden and Sarah Nelson defeating Lucy Furrick, Daphne, and Miss Natural. Miss Natural actually might be getting there as far as like being possibly part of the main roster. Joy Ryan defeated BJ Payne, and Trent Baker is still your OVW champion. So there you go. Outside of that, if we look at the news, and by news I mean results of the past week or so. Let's see here. I always forget. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. MLW had a big show. Main event was Jason Cross beating Simon Diamond. We had Glacier versus Sick Boy. Sure. Ultra Boy Luke versus Duke Rusi, who's still wrestling, I guess. Jerry Lynn and David Flair defeated Julio Estrada and Disco Inferno. Yeah, so MLW in this version of reality is just basically like fourth tier behind like TNA. Let's see here. FWA over in Britain had a big show. Hayden Vincent versus Martin Stone was actually really good. Let's see here. Fighting for Integrity, the ROH basically redo I did since ROH in this version of reality got bought by Rob Black. We had Brian Gamble versus Incognito. Peter Goodman versus Goof Shera. Sharon Walters defeating Brian Logan. Shane Ballard and Spike McKenzie Logan Kane defeat John Felix, Basham, and more. Militech defeating Eddie Colon by DQ. Flash Finnegan and David Young are your tag titles. And then Jerry Lynn defeated Perry Saturn, Ice Train, Tony Xena to retain the Champions of Integrity title. So a very different indie scene with me, WE, Impact, and Japan having a lot of the big shows. CML had a big show. Main event was Shocker versus Latin Lover in a great match, 94. Octagon defeated Black Warrior in a 97. Mystico, Nova, Aerostar defeated Heroes of Phantasmo, Hiro del Sorto, and Rebelde. And yeah, it turns out Mystico, good. Astro Ray Jr. defeated Blue Panther. Oh, right, I forgot. He had he changed character. Dr. Wagner and Lost Vipers defeat Heavy Moodle Jr., La Parka 2, and Lismark Jr. Oh, no, this is the original La Parka. Wait, no. Yeah. Low-Key's wrestling here, timing with Negro Casas. And yeah, was there anything else of note here? Not really. Let's see here. TEW had a show. Balls Mahoney versus Prof and Jarrell Clark was your main event. Sure. Yeah. 3CW had a big show. Nobody that really mattered. That's the difference. I was thinking something else. And yeah, so that's where we are. Again, TW9's coming out, as I said before. The plan is basically I will finish out the year here on TW 2020, then cheer for 2007. I'll do a conversion, and then we'll work on things from there. But that's for now. Give me a like if you're enjoying this, comment below, subscribe to our channel for plenty of TW 2020 content, and hopefully in the near future some TW9 content. But that's for now. Talk to you later, and adios. Have a good one.